All right, I'm going to need you all to stand up for a start, please. That'll hopefully get you off your phones. All right. Now, there's method to my madness, okay? I'm going to need you to sit down if you've been within the industry for more than 15 years. I'm also going to need you to sit down if you're not directly employed by the industry or if you're an associated hanger-on. Okay, can you sit down now if you've been in the industry for less than 10 years? Sorry, that was meant to be more than 10 years. But no, stay standing. You get to my point exactly. There's one person left standing in this room. Now, you would have seen early on just how many people sat down in the first iteration. So can you stay standing just for 1 second? So one person in this room of 150 odd people looks a little bit odd, right? But this is the number of people going into the School of Forestry each year from Auckland, which makes up a third of our population. Now, to me, that's quite worrying. So you can sit down now. So we have an issue, obviously, within the forest industry that we're not attracting young people into the industry, and we're not getting those bums on the seats at the institutions that we have. So obviously we have the Training and Careers Committee, which has been set up. It's a relatively new committee, so we've only been around for about a year, and has actually been has come along post the technical advisory group, which used to sit under the FIS Council for training that Ian was talking about just before. So the committee is obviously chaired by myself and is made up of representatives from Forest Owners Association, Farm Forestry Association, Competens, various training organisations, School of Forestry, and various different forest owners and contractors as well. So we're a very large committee. We're probably one of the largest committees, and it can be a bit like herding cats at times, but it's exceptionally important to have that representation in terms of all of the things that are going on in training and being able to keep abreast of everything that's going on in the industry training-wise. So we have a fairly large budget as well for a first-year committee, just over or close to 550,000. And that's FGLT funding, but we also have some additional funding on top of that from the Wide Trust, which is hugely beneficial. So I talked before about the Auckland problem, getting those young disruptive thinkers coming in from those major centres into institutions like the School of Forestry. In a recent survey that was undertaken by the FOA, 2/3 of employers within the industry are having difficulty filling roles. You see the number of jobs and good jobs being advertised in Friday offcuts, etc. At the moment, and the companies I talk to just can't get those roles filled. So we have an issue there. School of Forestry is operating at half capacity at the moment, let alone not getting people in from those main centres. Of those who were surveyed are having a real problem getting skilled contractors into their forest operations at the moment. So as the harvest continues to increase, we're going to be struggling from a supply chain point of view to get those logs down and to market. And 80% of the respondents see this problem getting worse, as such great initiatives as the Billion Tree program comes into place. We just don't have the people coming into the primary sector, let alone into forestry. So that's a little bit of the problem, and what are we going to do, or what are we doing as a committee to address some of these issues? I'm going to have to talk reasonably quickly on these because I've only got 15 minutes. I'm petrified of that bell, and it's 10 minutes. Oh dear. All right, I really have to go, but it's an easy topic to be very passionate about. So one of the key pieces of work that we're working on, and this is a very exciting initiative, is we're developing a national training and careers portal. So this is going to, and it's going to be branded forestrycareers.nz. Going to be a one-stop shop for young folk or career changers to come in, have a look at different videos and really relevant material about what careers are available in forestry, how to train, and point people in the direction of the right institutions to go for that training. University of Canterbury, we have a significant portion of funding set aside to contribute to the engineering program and keeping that accreditation going. We're in the third year of a 3-year commitment, So that's $100,000 a year going to help the University of Canterbury keep their accreditation on that program. We're part of the industry, the PICA, which is the Primary Industry Capability Alliance. So we pay an annual membership for that. And what the Primary Industry Capability Alliance does is amalgamates all the primary sectors, such as dairy, sheep and beef, forestry, to work together at career expos, etc., to really spread the word about the primary sector and gives us some oomph in terms of bang for buck there. As part of that as well, we also take part in the Growing New Zealand Innovation Challenges, which is gathering a whole lot of really talented top-tier students from schools and putting them in a room in various parts of the country and giving them some really gritty problems to try and solve. And it's amazing what some of these kids are coming up with, some of the technologies that they're talking about, and applying them to real-time forestry problems. And we're trying to get away from the problems that they see in the mainstream media being health and safety and environmental, and getting on to problems such as chain of custody that they can solve using blockchain technology and that type of thing. So it's really exciting to hear the type of things that are coming out of these young students. We have a significant portion of money put aside for the Train Me logging school pilot out of Gisborne. This is a new initiative which is a 30-week program. Jeff talked about this earlier, which is also co-funded by the Provincial Growth Fund and also ECT, the Eastern Community Trust, and I'm pretty sure there's one other party that I'm forgetting, but apologies for that. The idea of this is to get 11 students work ready to level 2 to 4 harvesting qualifications over a 30-week period, providing them with a raft of pastoral support and care as they go through that. And one of the main fundamentals of this initiative is taking out the commercial pressures that they would see in a normal work environment. Whenua Kura is a Māori engagement initiative which has been set up to, again, provide pastoral support and get young Māori work ready from either the couch or school leavers into jobs within the primary sector. So the Training Careers Committee, now that we have funding both through Wide Trust and FGLT, will sit on the board of the Whenua Kura initiatives and provide some forestry guidance. They already have forestry programs set up, which is fantastic, working in conjunction with the Ohomai. One of the projects that I'm really excited about as well, and this comes back to the Auckland thing I talked about before, is the Mount Albert Grammar School. Now, the Mount Albert Grammar School has a farm, 8 hectares in size, in the middle of central Auckland. They have a huge role, one of the biggest schools in the country, and they have 25,000 young people coming through their farm program every year, and they're developing a state-of-the-art experience centre. Forestry through the FGLT and Wide are on the ground floor and have provided $100,000 of cornerstone funding for this project. As such, they see forestry as a really key partner and are really promoting us within the students that they get through there. This is a really exciting opportunity for us to use virtual reality, alternative reality and mixed reality as they build the experience centre to engage young people, show them what an awesome career forestry is, and just show them an alternative. Just quickly, we are producing a whole lot of materials in terms of presentation materials, banners for forest managers, for wood councils, to take to industry expos and really have a single brand, because it's going to be branded according to the careers portal. So you'll have forestrycareers.nz behind you as you're presenting at these things, and then we can link them back into the online portal with the same branding and really have a cohesive industry from that point of view. We're developing video content. Don's doing a great job of that in terms of going into the in-zone school bus, which is going around various schools and promoting forestry as a career. Harriet, who's here somewhere as well, is also doing a really good job at the moment of getting some positive stories out in the media. You would have seen some on Friday Offcuts last week, and also some stories in the FOA newsletter this week, talking about what's happening in the training sector around the country, and really trying to, bring together all the initiatives that are happening in different parts of the world. I've deliberately Left this last part till last, and this is a really exciting part of what's happening in the training sector as well. I haven't got too much longer. The Future Foresters. This is a group of young people who are, I guess, gathered under the Institute of Forestry, tasked with trying to recruit young people into the industry and to support, provide a support network for those recent graduates and young people within the industry. These guys are doing a fantastic job. We've got funding support from both the FGLT and the Wide Trust. It's not a huge amount of money that they have set aside for them, but they're getting massive bang for buck. They're producing these videos, and I might be out of time to show them unless it's okay to show one of them.
Kia ora, my name's Alfred. I work in the forest industry in the Bay of Plenty, and I'm a regional forester. The thing that fills me with the most pride is the fact that I know I'm working in a sustainable industry. I want to be able to influence how we grow forests in New Zealand. I'm out and about in New Zealand's landscape. The forests that we manage cover vast areas, and so your ability to have an impact on the landscape is huge. If you're young and starting out and wanting to get into forestry, get in touch with the Future Foresters.
Hopefully you'll see these come out in various forms of media over the next few weeks if you haven't already seen Alfred's. And Alfred's a young forester from Blakely Pacific, and his video has been...
Hey, I'm Adrian.
That's okay. They're producing these short videos. They're only about 40 seconds long, but they're high production quality and telling a really good story about young people in forestry. Alfred's video was released several weeks ago through various social media platforms, and can anyone guess how many times this has been viewed in the last 2 weeks? Those of you who heard my colleague Sheridan speak at the Dana conference are going to get this wrong, because this is, how many, sorry? Very close, 70,000 in the last 2 weeks. So that's 70,000 people that these guys are reaching through that have viewed these videos. The reach is closer again, so there's 110,000 people that they have reached, and that means that these videos have come across their screen at least one time in the 2 weeks. So for a very small spend, these guys are getting huge bang for buck. They've got 300 followers on Facebook and 200 members since their establishment. So these guys are a huge resource, and they're getting out there and telling our story. So we should support them as much as we can.